But I would love to see Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero because we all know that the buildup is going to be great. Both guys are very much loved and or hated, and I think it's just going to be very interesting. And I think Ryan Garcia would be the favorite, and he'd probably win that fight.
Ryan Garcia would definitely be the favorite, but I think that's a blockbuster fight. I also think that fight is one that transcends past just regular boxing fans. I think people that aren't even boxing fans would watch that fight. So on that hand, I love that fight. I want to get to IMPK13's comment because IMPK13, friend of the show, thank you for joining us. This version of Ryan can't compete with the big names at 140. I wouldn't disagree with that. Like from what we saw tonight.
Is IMPK is Rolly Romero a big name?
No, I don't think he means Rolly though. I think he means like so Devin Haney. I think he means Teofimo Lopez. I think he means Regis Prograis, right? That's what he means.
I just say that because, well, from a literal standpoint, Rolly is a name, but also like we understand he's probably not the tier of fighter Ryan Garcia is, or if he's in the same tier, Ryan would be like, if he's a B+, then Rolly would be like a B-. So but he has a title. But in terms of
hey, shut up. Tyrone just donated $10. Thank you, Tyrone.
Yes.
We said we would stop everything.
Right.
So
thank you,
Tyrone the Great.
So if you want to shut us up, just send us some money and then we'll shut the fuck up. But I think Rolly, I think Ryan, like, do you feel better about his chances of fighting the Devin Haney Regis Prograis winner if they go in that direction next? Because that's going to be on DAZN also. I would say not really.
You know what I think the plan is? And we heard Ryan Garcia, if you did watch the post-fight interview, he said, we're going to go after Rolly, and then hopefully we can go after Devin, possibly. Did he mention Teofimo Lopez? I don't remember, but he did mention Devin. But I actually think the route for him is going to be, I think the Rolly fight can happen because I think Rolly will want to make it too. They're both going to make tons of money. But there's a guy that just signed to Golden Boy, and his name is Arnold Barbosa Jr. These are both Cali dudes. They're both under this umbrella. That's an easy fight to make, and that's a big fight for Arnold Barbosa Jr. I know he's not like the sexiest name to a lot of people, but the way that he took care of a guy like Jose Pedraza, Teofimo Lopez didn't even do that.
Arnold needs that fight. You could argue so if Ryan Garcia were to beat Jose Pedraza, is that the best name on his resume?
Probably.
I would say yes. I would say yes over Javier Fortuna, Luke Campbell, respectively. Oscar Duarte now. And Arnold Barbosa, that was a really impressive performance to me. I don't think they're going to go in that direction because I think because they just signed Arnold Barbosa.
It's the easier fight to make. It's the easier fight to make.
I agree, but if they just sign him, they're probably not going to send him right into Ryan Garcia and then all of a sudden.
They're going to
unless it's like a very short-term deal, right?
So they're going to give him a tune-up. But if I'm Arnold and I'm like 32 years old, I think Arnold's 32 or 33, if I'm not mistaken. You want those big name fights at this point, right? Arnold wants it with anybody because, he wasn't getting those big fights at Top Rank. He's undefeated. And so not to make this about Arnold Barbosa Jr., but I think he's such an important piece to what's going on with Golden Boy because that's a big fight that they can make. They could just have that in Cali and it could be massive because both dudes are from Cali. And I think it would do really, really well. Now, another fight that I think is really interesting, and I don't think this, like no one's been talking about this dude, but what's up with Jose Ramirez? Like when we talk about big names, why is I know he got married, he's doing the family thing, but where is he?
He fought already. He'd been married.
I know, but like
he stopped. Was it Richard Comey?
You can enjoy marriage a little bit after, Brian. You don't have to get right back into the ring, okay? After you get married.
No, but I'm saying he's already been married and he's fought since being married. It's like, all right, you're a husband. You know what I mean? Like, but if you're a husband, you gotta have a career. You gotta provide for your wife now and yourself.
I know. And the kids, because Jose's got some kids, but I'm taking a look at 140 and we keep on mentioning the same guys like Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez. We just mentioned Arnold Barbosa Jr. waiting for a big fight. We talked about Rolly and Ryan. But I think now the biggest thing is like, where is Jose Ramirez? Have you seen him? Because that's a guy that I would love to see Ryan Garcia fight. I think that's a good fight.
Well, the big piece of all this in the 140 division is going to unfold a week from now, at which we plan on doing a live for that as well. Regis Prograis is defending his WBC title against Devin Haney, who is the undisputed champion at 135, moving up, and is no longer going to be at 135, it appears. So I think Ryan Garcia is going to have an eye on the winner of that fight, but I think the Rolly Romero one comes first, and I think Arnold Barboza sort of gets introduced to being a piece of the Golden Boy stable in the meantime, and then eventually, you know, once he gets his victory or two, does get a title fight somewhere down the line, he might be next up for the Ryan Rolly winner or the Devin Haney Regis Prograis winner. I think that would actually make a lot of sense if Arnold Barboza has a fight soon and then fights the winner of Haney and Regis Prograis, since he was a highly ranked contender anyway. And Ryan Garcia, like, it's funny because it felt like ESPN had the sort of stranglehold on the 140-pound division and Top Rank did. And Devin Haney's gone. Regis Prograis signed with Matchroom. Arnold Barboza leaves. Teofimo Lopez is kind of like,
I don't really know what he's doing. Is he like a free agent? Does he just fight on Top Rank? Like, I don't really know what that is. I'm confused at where he's at.
Subriel Matias remained, at least for the time being, on the Showtime, well, PBC portion of this, no longer Showtime soon. Yeah. So yeah, we don't, and this is where Jose Ramirez comes into question. And it's like, can't you just, you could do Teofimo Lopez versus Jose Ramirez, but if Teofimo Lopez doesn't want the money fight with Ryan Garcia, why is he going to fight Jose Ramirez? That doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know which way it's going to go, but I do think we're going to get Ryan Garcia and Rolly.
For me, the Rolly Romero fight makes so much sense. And I think money-wise, I think because Rolly has a title, even though he doesn't deserve that particular title, I think this is the fight that makes the most sense. And I think that's the fight I would want to see Ryan Garcia in next. And then down the line, we could talk about Devin Haney, Regis Prograis winner, maybe an Arnold Barboza. I don't think he's going to rush to fight Subriel Matias. I don't think anyone is. But, you know, if he fights Rolly in the spring, we're likely talking about a fight in November, October, September, something along those lines anyway at the earliest. But to me, I think the Rolly Romero fight is the best one you can make next.
I think the Rolly Romero fight is the best one you can make just because of what it's going to do for boxing. Like I mentioned, I think it's going to transcend just the casual boxing fans. And I also think that's the big money fight to make. You think about those press conferences, they will be hilarious. Will that fight happen? It is boxing, so there's a possibility. It might not. So I do think that there is a chance that Arnold Barboza Jr. gets a tune-up. And then later on, we see Arnold Barboza Jr. and Ryan Garcia fight because that's the easier fight to possibly make, to be honest with you. It's a very easy fight to make because they're under the same umbrella. And if you looked on social media, they're pumping up Arnold Barboza a lot. This is a guy that's undefeated as well. I think that is also a blockbuster fight for any fight nerds because Arnold Barboza Jr. is undefeated. He is a very, very good fighter. Wherever you have him at 140, you might have him at 5 or 6, depending on whether we can find Jose Ramirez. But but the biggest point for me is I think the Rolly fight will happen because I think Ryan and Rolly both want to make it happen. But as you know, for boxing, it might not, right? Because Rolly's still with PBC, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Okay, so we don't know what's happening with that, right? So until that gets figured out, the easier fight to make is give Arnold Barboza Jr. a tune-up. Ryan's going to have like some months of training and then bring Arnold back and make the fight with Ryan Garcia and Arnold Barboza Jr. I think that's a great fight to make, and Barboza Jr. needs it. Like he needs that big fight at the same time. They both make money. They're both Cali dudes. I love it. Like the storylines for that fight would be great as well.